ACC football on JP Sports is brought to you by Infinity, who invites you to test drive their full line of performance and luxury automobiles. By Days Inn. Days offers great rooms, great value at over 1,000 great locations. By Right Guard Sports Stick from Gillette. Anything less would be uncivilized. And by your local Carolina Chevrolet Geo dealers. In the Carolinas, the place to be is in a Chevrolet or Geo.
It was some emotions there at the end of the first half.
I think it's a lot of emotions. We've had a lot of penalties in the ball game, and those have stopped drives or kept drives alive, just like the first 3rd down and 6 call where they made a first down and went on to score. We got to just quit beating ourselves and play good, solid football. That's what I told our team right now.
You got to feel good you're still in the ball game.
We're still in the ball game. They've got a home crowd. They've got all the momentum. Everything's going their way first half. These first 5 minutes, we get in there and play our brand of football right here. We're going to win this football game.
All right, good luck. That's Ken Hatfield, head coach at Clemson. Let's go back upstairs.
All right, thank you very much, Mike Hogwood. I'm John Sanders with Jack Corrigan. You know, what you like is a coach who's very definite about his plans.
He was pretty fired up, wasn't he? Well, he knows. I mean, he could see this season slip away for him if Clemson were not to come back in this football game. This is an important 30 minutes.
Let's take a look at some of our first half stats, courtesy Schlitz Malt Liquor, and you see the numbers on the board. Of course, the one number that's not up there right now is the difference in penalties, and that's been one of the keys, as he said.
Well, the biggest number on the board, the total offense numbers, NC State with 221 yards to 157 for Clemson. But what's more significant about that, John, Clemson is only allowing 200 yards a ball game coming into this game. So there you have better than 20 yards to the good with a half of football yet to play. The difference in penalties, 80 yards in penalties in the first half on Clemson to just 25 for NC State. The 2 big plays of the first half. The first, a little out pattern to Charles Davenport on 3rd and short. And he takes this 7-yard pattern and turns it into a 60-yard touchdown as he outruns Dexter Davis into the end zone. That was the first possession of the ball game for NC State. On their next possession, they marched down the field and ran a counter reverse play. We'll get our machinery going. And there you see Davenport. He got great blocks out in front of him by Taylor and by G. Went into the end zone, made it 14-0. But then the fumble by Chris Maynard, scooped up by Dexter Davis. And as we talked about in college football, a defensive player can advance a fumble once it's crossed the line of scrimmage. He went 52 yards, 14-9, our football game as we get ready for the second 30 minutes.
And to begin that second 30 minutes, it'll be Chris Gardocki kicking off. Liddell George will be deep, along with Sebastian Savage. And again, trying to kick it into the near end zone. Liddell George will let it go through the end zone and out of bounds. NC State, which had won the toss at the beginning of the ball game, deferred their option to the second half. Will start at the 20, and wake-up call for Virginia. 14-12 in the second quarter. Wake is leading.
Big shocker there in Winston-Salem. Virginia, I'm sure, looking ahead. They've got a bye next week, and then Georgia Tech in 2 weeks. I would imagine their thoughts were not too heavily on the Demon Deacons. Long way to go in that game.
Turner right and Davenport left. Sweeping his downs to the line of scrimmage, nothing more. Jerome Henderson, the left corner, coming up to force on the play. And we're underway in the second half. Jordan begins the second half 11 of 12, 146 yards, including the 60-yard touchdown pass to Davenport. That is the longest scoring play of the year for NC State.
You heard Ken Hatfield say the first 5 minutes of the second half would be very important. I'm sure he's glad his defense is out there for the first 5 minutes. They can establish something.
Right up the middle. Liddell George to near the 35-yard line. And Liddell George, who's not even listed on the offensive depth charts, has been primarily a kick returner, finally tackled by O'Neal. But Liddell George has got 13 and a first.
You have to give a lot of credit to the game plan designed by offensive coordinator Ted Kane and head coach Dick Sheridan. They have not been overly fancy, but boy, they have consistently made the right call at the right time in the game thus far.
And they have used a ton of people at the skill positions during this game, but the quarterback all the way has been Jordan. Straight back goes Terry, looks right, throws right, and the ball is caught by the tailback Shaw. He gets outside the 40 to the 41-yard line. It'll be gain of about 6, possibly 7 on the play, and second down coming up.
And with that initial first down, John, they have already dulled some of the emotional edge that Kenny Hatfield hoped to get with his Clemson Tigers. I'm sure he wanted to force a 3-and-out situation against Dick Sheridan's Wolfpack. Instead, NC State is nearly out to midfield right now and very happy with their situation.
And apparently a knee problem for Henderson, who's down near the 41-yard line. It's his left leg. If it's the calf area, could it possibly be a cramp?
Watch the right side of your screen as they run the little curl route to Aubrey Shaw, and he got that leg pinned underneath Rob Bodine. Jerome Henderson, the senior out of Statesville, North Carolina, needs some assistance going off the field, and that is not very promising for Henderson. Tony Mooney will replace him in the Clemson secondary.
It will be second down coming up for NC State. They've got the ball at their own 41-yard line. First possession of the second half. Here comes the blitz. Trying to get outside is Downs. He won't do it. He'll get a yard on the play and nothing more. Chester McLaughlin made the tackle.
McLaughlin with good lateral pursuit, working his way along the line of scrimmage. Made a good stop right at, oh, I'd say a no gain situation. Sets up a third and medium. NC State has been in that kind of setup most of this football game. For the most part, they've been successful in their conversions.
Third down at about 3.5. Jordan is straight back. The whistle will blow this one dead. Johnson coming on the play, keeping Jordan company in the backfield.
Well, John Johnson and Rob Bodine decided to take a meeting at the quarterback, and the State fans didn't like it because the whistle was already blowing out on the field, and State was probably not set long enough for the motion penalty. Only the 4th infraction of the game against NC State for 30 yards officially.
So from third and medium, it goes to third and long. 3 wide outs in the formation. Davenport to the left, Lawrence and Turner to the right. Davenport diving for the catch, was out of bounds. Into Clemson territory, diving toward his own bench to make the catch. It will be 4th down. Eric Jeter was there to help out defensively.
Well, they had Charles Davenport open, and Charles made the catch, but first time Jordan has really lollipopped the ball, if you will, this afternoon. He just laid that out there, didn't put any zip to it. Had he thrown that ball hard, John, I think Davenport could have caught it inbounds.
Pogue to kick, and Davis and O'Neal deep to receive, but there's a whistle before we can get the kick away. 12 minutes and 43 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Preston Pogue has kicked twice. His average, not much so far, considering he came in averaging about 42 a kick.
Keep in mind he has been battling an ankle problem. Another problem with the huddle clocks again. Well, now they are operational.
Man, momentarily it was operational. It keeps changing.
Well, now they're
the officials want to make sure that everything's under control. Jim Knight is our referee. Are we ready? Apparently not. Dick Sheridan can do a little more pacing along the NC State bench. His team leads it here 14-9. About a quarter of the way through the third period. Ken Hatfield, boy, was he fired up at halftime. Let's see if he can instill some of that in his offense when they get their hands on the football, which should be following this punt. Davis, 24. Hit hard at the 26, fights his way forward to near the 28-yard line. Down on the kick team was Lee Knight, a 39-yard kick and a 4-yard return.
Now in the first half, Deshaun Cameron did a lot of throwing on first down, did a lot of play action rollout on first down. Let's see if the Tigers want to play a little bit more power football to start this second half and try and run more with their initial snap in the series.
The ball is at the 28-yard line. It is 1st and 10. The backfield, Hall the fullback and Williams the tailback. Here's Williams following the block of Hall, trying to get outside. Banged out of bounds. Johnson and Campbell double team on the tackle. Let's get an injury update from Mike Hogwood.
Well, guys, Jerome Henderson sprained his left ankle. They've cut the tape off. He's tried to walk on it. It really hurt. They're trying to tape it up even tighter and do anything they can to get him back in, but it doesn't look real promising here on the Clemson sideline.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. They will continue to work. Pickup of about 6. Ball at the 34-yard line. 2nd down and 4. Henderson with the defense, the offense on the field right now, and it's Williams with room. Falls down as he crosses the 45, just barely tripped up outside the 45, and it looked to me like Ronald Williams was about set to put it in high gear.
And he has Jeb Flesh out in front of him. He had a blocker in front of him and lots of green space. But he tripped going over the 45-yard line. A break for NC State, and at least early on, Clemson is saying, we want Mr. Williams to take a bigger share of the offense. Was really shut down in the first half.
1st and 10 at the 46. Cameron misdirection and trouble. Down he goes. Mike Jones is there. Another sack for big Mike Jones.
That's the 5th sack of the year for Mike Jones. Deshaun, as he tried to wheel to the outside, knew he was in trouble because Mike Jones had actually knocked down the lead blocker, Jeb Flesh, on the play, and Cameron was trying to improvise.
You know you're in trouble when you look up and you can't see the sun. You know, there's nothing there but a big red jersey. Cameron in trouble again and down again. And again, it's Mike Jones. Tyler Lawrence with help. Mike Jones so far this afternoon will not be denied. He doubled his yearly sack total.
Well, Clemson had allowed just 10 quarterback sacks in their first 7 ball games. 3 times this afternoon now. Mike Jones has come through. Senior out of Columbia, South Carolina. He now has a total of 17 sacks in his NC State career.
It is 3rd down and about 23. Witherspoon checks in at tailback. Cameron throws the ball that way. Witherspoon's got it. Some room down the sideline. He breaks out at the 40 to 30. 25-20, and he's banged out of bounds just outside the 10-yard line near the 11. Joe Johnson had the angle and nailed him, but Witherspoon broke it for about 56 yards.
Well, he has run an 81-yard touchdown this year. You can see the acceleration here, the freshman from Sumter, South Carolina. Good call on the screen, and Sebastian Savage got pushed inside on the block by Jeb Flesh, and Joe Johnson's great speed saved the touchdown.
Derek Witherspoon takes it down to the 10-yard line, just outside the 10. It'll be 1st down. There's a possibility of picking up the 1st down. Goodlock is in at wide receiver. Fighting his way inside the 10 is Ronald Williams. Ronald, the freshman from 96, South Carolina. Vincent and Jones team up on the tackle. The ball is down near the 8-yard line.
Keep in mind that Clemson was stopped on a goal line stand last week by Georgia Tech and needed 3 downs on another sequence to score inside the 10-yard line.
Thomas comes right, Ryans to the left in the I formation. Kennedy the fullback. The option play. Cameron pitches it to Williams. He's run out of bounds at the 10. Williams loses the 2 he had gained on 1st down. Joe Johnson and Tyler Lawrence coming up strong for NC State.
The Wolfpack anticipating good play again by Mike Jones. Boy, Mike Jones is giving Stacy Long all he could want. Long might be the All-American Outland Trophy candidate on that offensive line for Clemson, but he is having a great deal of difficulty with number 99, Mike Jones.
2nd down and 8. Excuse me, 3rd down and 8. Flags down.
Well, the huddle clock had not expired, so that can't be the problem.
There's been some kind of movement. And there it is. Another costly penalty for Clemson. They're killing themselves, Jack.
And they're a team that doesn't do that often. They have not had inordinate amount of penalties this year coming into the ball game.
Illegal procedure, offense.
That's double-figure penalties now on the afternoon for Clemson.
It'll be 3rd down and 13. The ball at the 14. Smith and Ryans will be split to the left side. That's the wide side of the field.
Look for some kind of crossing pattern out of the 2 receivers to Cameron's left.
Cameron looks that way, looks to the end zone, throws, touchdown. Terry Smith in the end zone for a touchdown.
Boy, there were at least 4 red-shirted Wolfpack defenders around the ball, but none in position to make a break on the ball when Cameron let it go. It was a crossing route between the 2 wide receivers. Smith was the outside receiver of the pair. He worked his way over the middle. Good protection for Cameron. Look at all the red shirts around Terry Smith, but nobody close enough to come up with the football. Terry Smith with his 2nd touchdown of the season.
Well, they
3rd touchdown of the season.
They went for 2 earlier. They will go for 2 again. Clemson now leading by 1, 15-14. Cameron gets in
On a busted play.
Deshaun Cameron gets into the end zone for 2. Elijah Austin hit him, but not in time.
Boy, and the Wolfpack players are really hot. They did not think Cameron broke the plane. This is a broken play. They're gonna run the option. Look, there's no fullback to give it to. And Cameron, boy, I don't know if he crossed the plane. He looked like he bounced into the end zone. But the Tigers get a big 2-point conversion. They have the field goal lead. 9:51 to play here in the 3rd quarter at Carter Finley Stadium in Raleigh. The Wolfpack trails for the first time.
Clemson has taken a 3-point lead with 9:51 remaining in the 3rd quarter here in Raleigh, North Carolina. State had had the lead since trailing early 3-0 thanks to 2 first quarter touchdowns by Charles Davenport. And we're getting set for the kickoff along with Mike Hogwood and Jack Corrigan. I'm John Sanders, and it is a gorgeous fall afternoon. Just barely squeezing into the end zone for the 2-point conversion after the touchdown pass was Deshaun Cameron. 8 plays, 72 yards, and Clemson regains the lead. Adele George at the goal line. No place to go at the 20-yard line. Kenzel Jackson on the kickoff team.
Well, Ken Hatfield said the first 5 minutes would be important, and you see Virginia has bounced back to regain the lead in the 2nd quarter. North Carolina making it tough on Georgia Tech, and Maryland with the lead by 4. We've got a flag down at about the 27 or 28-yard line. And let's see who the infraction will go against. Jim Knight is going to let us know. It's a personal foul against the Tigers. Wow.
That was almost a foregone conclusion the way things have gone. Let's check in with Mike Hogwood. Mike?
Getting the breaks as far as penalties are concerned, still committing the penalties, but boy, they got a great break.
Foul. Defense first.
As you hear the call from the referee, Jim Knight, but boy, did they get a break when that 2-point conversion. Deshaun Cameron comes running off the field. He doesn't smile a lot, doesn't talk a lot, but that time, folks, he was grinning from ear to ear. He knew that they'd made something out of nothing on that play.
Aubrey Shaw makes a couple of yards. Ed McDaniel on the tackle.
Kenny Hatfield said to Mike Hogwood, the first 5 minutes were going to be the most important part of the ball game. Well, in 5 minutes and 9 seconds of the 2nd half, the Tigers regain the lead. And let's see how NC State responds now.
They've got Lawrence right, Davenport left. They move Jackson into the slot on the left side. Set back is Maynard. Lawrence makes the catch. He bumped out of bounds short of a first down. Reggie Lawrence hit by Dexter Davis. He's about a yard shy of a first.
Jerome Henderson still out of the ball game, and as the afternoon unfolds, let's see if watch Terry Jordan what happens after a quarterback delivers the football sometimes. Hello, Chester McLaughlin said, how do you do to Mr. Jordan? I was going to say, with Henderson out of the ball game, you're going to get a lot of one-on-one situations with Tony Mooney and Charles Davenport.
2 tight ends. Aubrey Shaw, and it will be very, very close. I'm not sure he got there. Vance Hammond
I don't think he did. Good penetration by the Clemson defensive line.
Hammond able to get underneath.
To get to the 35-yard line.
Now the officials are not standing near the 35 right now. Everybody anxiously awaiting the signal. They are short. No measurement is needed, so they are
half the length of the football shot.
It'll be 4th down. Pogue will come on. Davis and O'Neal will drop deep.
They did not need the 3 and out from their offense, the Wolfpack.
That may be the first or the second time today that NC State has gone a 3 and out. Preston Pogue, end over end. O'Neal, 16-yard line, looking for someplace to go, and he won't find it. A flag is down at the 40-yard line. It was a 39-yard kick. They lost 4 on the return. Jimmy Daniel leading the defense. O'Neal was dropped, but let's check out the flag.
Usually in the area of some kind of holding infraction against the return team. Well, it's going to be a clip rather than a hold. That will back it up even further.
The foul occurred on the run back.
I can guarantee you that Ken Hatfield's favorite color is not yellow.
Well, not today, but it's the color he's seen most often. Next week, more football coming up here on JP Sports. Hope you'll join us at 12 noon. It'll be Bobby Ross against Duke, their new head coach. Duke and Georgia Tech. The game will be played in Bobby Dodd Stadium in Atlanta. 12 noon is when it all begins next week. The football is all the way back inside the 10, spotted near the 7. Look at the penalties.
Wow. Now's the time for the NC State defense. I talked in the first half, John, about how the Tiger defense had to force something to get back in the game. They got the 52-yard fumble return by Dexter Davis. Now it is up to the NC State defense to force a turnover, get the momentum back for their football team.
From the 7-yard line, Williams rolls forward to near the 9-yard line. Leonard Bartlett made the tackle. The down lineman, sophomore from Elizabeth City, North Carolina. North Carolina State trying to get it going defensively here. It'll be 2nd and about 8. Ball is at the 9-yard line. Williams to the 11. They brought in an extra tackle that time. Kelvin Hankins was actually lined up as a tight end. We're in Raleigh, North Carolina at Carter Finley Stadium in the final weekend of the North Carolina State Fair. 7:35 to play in the 3rd quarter, and Clemson has fought back here in the quarter to regain the lead 17-14. They had been down 14-9 at halftime. This is John Sanders along with Jack Corrigan. Mike Hogwood is down below. Big 3rd down play. Williams. He's got all kinds of trouble from Jesse Campbell. A flag is down, however.
It's motion. Kelvin Hankins, who was in as that tackle turn tight end, moved just as the ball was snapped. Ronald Williams took a heck of a hit at the end of that play from Jesse Campbell. He was slow in getting up. Jim Knight is going to tell us it's illegal motion.
But the football is back inside the 5.
Watch Ronald Williams here trying to turn the corner, and here's why Jesse Campbell is an All-American. What a great open field tackle he made with help from Ray Frost. Well, I said they had to do something. 3 negative plays and a punting situation. That's not a bad job by that Wolfpack defense. Of course, they are number 7 in the country, so they're not too shabby. And Chris Gardocki has just a smidgen of room behind him.
Just a smidgen is right. He'll be kicking to Liddell George, who's standing near midfield. Snap is a little bit low. The kick is a beauty. George has some room, though, as he fields it at his 45. Starts right midfield.
Got a wall.
Here he comes, trying to cut it back. He turned back inside, and down he goes near the 32-yard line. A 49-yard punt. The return was 21. 6:37 remaining in the third. Let's pause now for a word from your local ACC stations. Keep your eye on the action with us right here in Raleigh, North Carolina. 17-14. Clemson has the lead, but the Wolfpack, they like what they see right now because field position has the ball at the 32-yard line. They bring Turner to the left, send Davenport to the right. Jackson and Cotton, the running backs. Cotton at fullback, first time today. At the 45-yard line, Tyrone Jackson is drilled on the play.
Rob Bodine, the nose man, knifing through to make the tackle. Bodine, the one-time walkout, just slipped right around Charlie Cobb and hit Jackson before he had a chance to get going. It's amazing. Bodine has more than 55 tackles this year out of the nose guard spot. That just shows how quick that young man is off the football.
He lost 3 on the play to the 35. 2nd and 13. Jordan looks to his left, and there was good coverage, and then they back away from Liddell George. He stayed with his pattern and moved it inside the 30 to the 26-yard line. They had him covered coming off the ball. Then as the quarterback moved, they released a bit on him, and they made the play.
Well, they forced John Johnson to make a commitment, Terry Jordan. And Johnson stepped up to take care of the run, perhaps, and Liddell George did a good job of not giving up on the play. When a play breaks down, a receiver's got to find some open space and look for the quarterback. Nice job by Jordan to make something out of nothing.
It is 3rd and 4 from the 26-yard line. Jordan delivers the ball to Shaw. He's down to the 10-yard line. Aubrey Shaw to the 10, and North Carolina State comes back. A 16-yard pickup.
When your uncle is Leroy Jordan, one of the greatest ever to play college football at Alabama as a linebacker, you're a tough cookie. And Terry Jordan took a heck of a pop, but stayed in the pocket and waited for Aubrey Shaw to break free and catch the first down pass.
Aubrey Shaw with his 4th catch for 50 yards. Lined up in the eye. Diving inside the 10 is the fullback Greg Maynor. Again, Rob Bodine made the tackle, and Terry Jordan will take a look to his bench.
Well, they're going to have to look to the Clemson bench because there's another injured Tiger player. They've already lost Jerome Henderson on the day, and now it's Big Chester McLaughlin who is down and out.
McLaughlin is down with 5 minutes and 20 seconds remaining to be played in the 3rd quarter. Clemson has come up with the only score of the 2nd half, added a 2-point conversion, and leads by 3, 17-14. It was 14-9 State at halftime. Ken Hatfield spending a lot of time talking to his quarterback, Deshaun Cameron.
Well, you have to look ahead in this game. You always have to anticipate the upcoming situations, and Kenny already talking with his quarterback about what they want to do, whether they are tied at 17, down 21-17, or still ahead 17-14. And the next couple of minutes will decide what happens with that. McLaughlin is still down, and now they've got the stretcher out there. Tell you what, that better be a heavy-duty stretcher, because McLaughlin goes at about 325 pounds. They list him at 310, and they say that's way underneath it. There's McLaughlin right there, and there's that left knee right there, like it was a hyperextension to that left knee as the head of Greg Maynor barreled into Big Chester. It's a Parade High School All-American out of Whiteville, North Carolina.
Led the team a year ago in sacks, and he's been sacked himself this afternoon as he is going to be helped off the field.
Now they are immobilizing that left leg. He said it's a stretcher. It's actually like a wheelchair.
Well, of course, we've got Mike Hogwood along the sidelines. We'll give Mike a chance to go to work over there.
I'll tell you what, there's some very happy guys in the sidelines. If they would have asked some guys to come out and help Chester off the field, that would have been worse than a workout in the weight room.
All right. Jordan is 15 of 17 this afternoon, 185 yards and a TD. Second and 9 from the 9. Feels pressure, rolls right, looks, lobs to the end zone. Incomplete.
Well, there was a sophomore pass right there.
Henderson got a hand on it and almost came down with the interception. Liddell George was out there trying to catch up with it.
Watch Terry Jordan here. The play breaks down. He has got Charles Davenport in the flat for just a couple of yards. But see right here, he's going to throw the ball into an area with all sorts of white shirts around.
So Liddell George.
Excuse me, Dennis, that sometimes you just got to say, hey, I'm not going to get the touchdown. Let me get something. He was lucky.
Liddell George has caught 4. He could not catch up with that one. Third down play. Jordan sets, dumps it over the middle. George has it. Spins away from 1 tackle. He's down to the 2.
Now if you're Dick Sheridan, what do? It's 4th and a long yard, maybe a yard and a half. A field goal ties the game.
Well, you know what the fans want, but they don't coach.
Well, that's a tough call, and you hate to burn a timeout over the call.
But down below, there is a man in a red hat who said, yeah, let's take a timeout. I want to think about this one. 4 minutes and 44 seconds left in the third. A field goal is the difference. We'll find out what the decision is when we come back. Well, we've seen about 45 different formations or attempted formations during this timeout. You can see where the ball is. It's over by the far hash mark. You can see where the huddle is. That's kind of split the defense at this point, Jack. At one point, we did see Damon Hartman start onto the field, and he came back off. The situation is this. It is 4th and about a yard, and Virginia has bounced back against Wake Forest. Sean Moore with a couple of touchdown passes, one to Herman Moore and one to Kirby late in that first half, 28-14 there.
And now it appears that NC State is going to take the delay of game penalty. There's the indication. Where that ball is, John, it's a rather severe angle for a kicker like Damon Hartman. So they decide to take the 5-yard penalty, move the ball back, and have a little better angle for Mr. Hartman to try and tie up this football game.
So that was the decision by Dick Sheridan to give his kicker about 5 more yards of breathing room. The spot will be near the 14.
Now Clemson, John, could have declined that penalty, but apparently decided not to.
It'll be a 24-yard field goal attempt, an attempt to tie the game here late in the third quarter. Terry Jordan is the holder. The kick is blocked. It scoots into the end zone, and Clemson got up there and got the block to maintain a 3-point lead.
Well, you go through all those machinations, if you will, deciding what you want to do and then come away empty. Boy, what a demoralizing blow for NC State, and what a big turnaround for Clemson. I don't know if it was a good block by John Johnson, but I don't know if it was so much of a block by Johnson or just low trajectory by Damon Hartman. And the faces tell it all.
The ball comes back to the 20. First down and 10. Ken Hatfield's club protects its 3-point lead. Fumble. Loose football. And Tech gets it right back at the 17-yard line. Georgia Tech bouncing on that loose football as it popped out of the arms of the running back. Greg Gianamore for NC State comes up with it. The linebacker popped on the loose ball, and right back comes the Wolfpack at the 17-yard line.
The exchange for the second time this afternoon between Deshaun Cameron and a fullback was not a good one, where the fullback, I don't think, expected that they were going to get the football.
So each team has turned it over a couple of times now. The ball is at the 17, and new life after the block kick. Aubrey Shaw lowers his head and moves inside the 15 to the 14. John Johnson is there to make the tackle.
Some of the fans didn't like the play call. They wanted Terry Jordan and the Wolfpack to head it into the end zone and thought the running play was too conservative. Now you will get Charles Davenport back into the ball game and freshman Robert Hinton. Hinton will be split out to the left side. He was a high school All-American, a true freshman.
Lone setback is Maynard. Aubrey Shaw is in the slot on the left side, and he's well covered. A pass to the end zone. Intercepted, is picked off. Dexter Davis diving in the end zone to come up with a football.
But hang on, hang on. There was a hit on Terry Jordan, and I think we either have roughing the passer. That should be the call, and will negate another interception. Watch the end of the play. If we can see it, Jordan gets, oh, wow. Oh, wow, did he get popped by John Johnson in the head. Dexter Davis, that would have been his 6th interception of the year. When you go after a quarterback up around the head, you're going to get yourself in trouble. And of a host of penalties today, that could be the biggest against the Tigers. Here comes the call from Jim Knight.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense first.
So the drive continues. The problems with the penalties continue for the Tigers.
Terry Jordan gets a knockout blow from John Johnson. Boom! Boy, right on the chin, leading with his helmet.
He was trying to go to Davenport on the play. It was intercepted by Davis, but that hit that Jack described wipes it all out. There is the difference in penalties. It just might be the difference in the football game. No place at all for Liddell George to go because Ed McDaniel was there. Keep in mind, Clemson is still leading by 3. There are times this crowd reacts like NC State is ahead, but it's still a 3-point lead for Clemson.
Well, it's a tough situation here for Dick Sheridan. They've not had much success running straight ahead this afternoon. Their success running the ball has been on delays and misdirection plays set up off the passing game. But when you only have 17 yards in which to operate, there's not a whole lot you can do.
Davenport left and Turner right. He'll sweep to the right with Shaw. Down he goes at the 5-yard line. Just sealed up whatever crease was in that defense, and down he went at the 5. Al Richard leading the way defensively, number 69.
And if you're Kenny Hatfield's Clemson team right now, you're saying we can't allow more than 3. And maybe we can block another one. 17-14. The blocked field goal moments ago looked like it gave the momentum back to Clemson, but the immediate fumble has NC State down in close on 3rd and goal.
2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining, 3rd quarter, 2 tight ends. Jordan rolling left, fires to the end zone. No. Davenport thought he had it for his 3rd touchdown of the day. He did not field it cleanly, and it will be 4th down.
Good safe pattern to run here. Terry Jordan had more time than he realized. And that would have been a great catch by Davenport. He has to throw it down and away because Dexter Davis has good time. Boy, Davenport, a little bit of a push off there. Good break on the ball by Dexter Davis. Really limited the throwing area for Terry Jordan.
The last one was blocked. Damon Hartman will try again from 22. To tie the game. This one is up cleanly and through, and we are tied at 17. So Dick Sheridan's team getting a second chance. Puts 3 on the board to tie it with 2:20 to play. Hartman kicks it through this time.
Well, that was like going to the dentist, wasn't it, to come away with 3 points? That was painful for NC State, but they do tie the ball game. Setting up what is going to be a wild final 17 minutes and 20 seconds to this one. The 10th annual Textile Bowl here in Raleigh, North Carolina. And a capacity crowd has seen a great football game.
I'll tell you another thing. The bank is getting even more spectators as we go along. It's kind of like the word of how good this game is filtering through the fairgrounds, and they're making their way over here to Carter Finley. Let's get an update on Chester McLaughlin now. We go down to the sideline and Mike Hogwood. Mike?
Well, guys, you remember he was wheeled off the field. Good news, he is up and walking on the sidelines. That's the good news. The bad news is it is a sprained knee, and it is doubtful if he'll return this afternoon.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Looked like a hyperextension when we got in that one replay. You know, your knee is a wonderful piece of equipment, but sometimes it's asked to bend in ways that it doesn't like to bend.
Yeah, well, it doesn't have a hinge that goes both ways on it, does it? Hobble will kick it off.
Now, Clemson has moved up its kick coverage, expecting another one of those sky kicks.
They get it. At the 20-yard line, Witherspoon. He's banged down, and the fans, I think, on that side of the field wanted a late hit flag thrown there. Didn't get it. Each team has turned it over twice in the ball game. The clock shows 2:14 to play in the third quarter. Ball is at the 27-yard line, and it will be first down 10. We're at Carter Finley Stadium, where capacity is 47,000, but with that banked area at the right end, you mentioned they could go as high as almost 60,000. Williams and Hall, the running backs. Sprint out, Cameron, pass, caught, out of bounds, goes Smith. He's out near the 38-yard line. Joe Johnson ran him out.
Sean Cameron going to the local boy. Terry Smith out of Daniel High School in Clemson, South Carolina. He's running the bench route, running up the field and then breaking back towards the bench, towards the sideline. Picks up first down yardage.
It's his 5th catch of the game. Terry with 5 for 63 yards and a touchdown. Now Rodney Blunt checks in at the tailback. It's Terry Smith in motion. Blunt sweeping short side. Dives forward. Mark Thomas made the tackle. Might have made a yard, and that is about all on the play, if that. Tech leading North Carolina 10-3. 14-6. Maryland over Duke. Here it's 17-17. You know, we talked about the importance of this game, and certainly NC State is playing like it's the critical game of their 1990 campaign. Second down and 9. The tailback Blunt gets across the 40 near the 43-yard line, where linebacker Billy Ray Haynes from Forest City, North Carolina, makes the stop.
Well, NC State has gotten used to going bowling in the Dick Sheridan era, and quite frankly, their hopes of doing that again this year, I think, rest in a large part on coming away with a victory here this afternoon.
Less than a minute to play, third quarter. 3rd and 5. Play action. Drop. Blunt, the tailback, could not hang on. He would have been right at the marker, Jack. I'm not sure if he would have gotten the first down or not, but he didn't make the catch.
Well, he would have had time to turn and run upfield and would have had the first down. Sean Cameron, with good protection, finally just dumps it to Blunt. And yes, he would have had the first down because Billy Ray Haynes wouldn't have gotten there in time. But the drop pass forces a Gardocki punt.
5th of the day for Chris. George will field this one on the bounce if he fields it at all, and he does not. It dribbles inside the 10 to the 8. A 49-yard kick. Say this about Chris Gardocki: he gets the most mileage possible out of his punt.
They all look the same on the stat sheet, partner.
That's right. 40 seconds remaining in the third quarter. We're tied at 17. Clemson was favored by about 11 points coming into the ball game, but the Wolfpack had some other ideas this afternoon on a bright, sunny October day, the final weekend of the North Carolina State Fair. Straight ahead power running by the fullback Cotton. And Cotton gets outside the 20 and picks up a big first down. We head down to the final 30 seconds of the third quarter. Arlington Nunn had to come up from his rover position to make the tackle. A gain of 14.
Redshirt walk-on freshman Greg Cotton out of Greensboro, going straight up the field.
It's the best way to go, you've always said.
North-south, baby.
At the 22. It'll be 1st and 10. Jordan straight back. Looks short. Finds Davenport. Cannot get away from the tackle of Arlington Nunn. That will be the final play of the 3rd quarter as he's dropped back inside the 20, down to the 18-yard line. We'll be ready to start the 4th quarter of play when we come back to Carter Finley Stadium. Clemson 17, NC State 17. Here we go to the 4th quarter in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm John Sanders along with Jack Corrigan and Mike Hogwood. 2nd down, 14, ball at the 18-yard line. Turner are the wide receivers. The running backs are Jackson and George. No place to go at all as Danny Sizer is right there on the back of Liddell George.
Kenny Hatfield has gone in with some of his second-line guys on the line of scrimmage to get some fresh legs in there. Danny Sizer, the backup to Vance Hammond, with a good play there. And after gaining a 1st down by Cotton, NC State has gone backwards on its next 2 plays.
They're looking now, Jack, at a 3rd and 15 from their own 17-yard line. Backs are split, a passing formation. Liddell George, 20, 25, and he's knocked down as he crosses the 25-yard line. Robert O'Neill on top of that one defensively. 4th and about 7. Kicking team comes on. For the Wolfpack of NC State, Preston Pogue will be on doing the kicking. Davis and Henderson will be deep. Off the side of the foot, line drive, fair catch called for by Henderson, who's back on the field. A 32-yard kick off the foot of Preston Pogue. The ball will be spotted at the 44-yard line. 1st down and 10.
The numbers in the 3rd quarter just about dead even. You can see Clemson doing almost all of it through the air. The big play, of course, the screen pass to Derek Witherspoon that helped to set up the go-ahead touchdown, which also came through the air, and the touchdown toss to Terry Smith.
And on the scoreboard through 3 quarters, it is even at 17. 2 tight ends in this formation for Clemson. Play action, Cameron rolling, throwing, and it's incomplete. Intended for Howard Hall, the fullback.
When have you last seen a Clemson offense with 7 yards rushing for an entire period?
Consider the fact that they were one of the top-ranked teams in the nation rushing the football coming into the game.
7th in the nation in rushing. You're right, John, at nearly 285 yards on the season per game, and in this ball game they have 63 yards on the ground into the 4th quarter.
Cameron has thrown 24 times in the ball game. This looks like number 25 coming up. Williams can't hang on at midfield. Ronald Williams had it in his arms momentarily, lost it. It'll be 3rd and 10. You know, they don't keep records like that, but I know that in the times we've seen them this year, there's no way they've passed this many times in the game, probably, Jack, especially on 1st down.
Well, some of it was in the game plan, John. I think they felt they had to throw the ball a little bit to stretch the defense and make more things happen. But then when they have tried to run the ball, either the fullbacks have fumbled it or they have shut down the Clemson tailbacks.
Scant looking for Ryans, knocked away. Joe Johnson went up high, and if it had not been high, if he'd have been able to get up to grab it, he might have been gone.
Oh, Joe Johnson had a great read on this. He saw the screen develop right away, and he comes up to force the play. And I think Deshaun Cameron is throwing this ball away. You can see Joe Johnson, actually the best intended receiver there.
So Gardocki will come back on. Liddell George will drop deep again as he goes back to near his 10-yard line. So the Wolfpack defense has the answer. What you have are the nation's 2nd and 7th ranked defensive units going head-to-head here. It's 17-17, 13:25 remaining in the game. Caught in the air at the 25-yard line after a 32-yard kick. Down to the field, Mike Hogwood again. Mike?
Well, guys, this game is being called the Textile Bowl for several reasons. Number one, the largest textile schools in the country are where? At Clemson and at NC State. The states of North Carolina and South Carolina are the country's largest textile states. And so they call the game the Textile Bowl. The most valuable player for NC State will have a scholarship donated in his name, $5,000 from the North Carolina Textile Manufacturers Association. Same for the South Carolina. And they even passed out hats honoring the occasion to all the media.
And they passed out hits, courtesy Ed McDaniel, on the tailback Gary Downs. Let's
Give
take
us a look at that
hat.
Yeah, that's right. Let's see that hat on. Oh, you look spiffy, Michael. Oh, I like that.
A loss of 3 on the play.
We've seen Clemson run on first down, and we've seen State, or throw on first down, and State run on first down almost exclusively in the second half.
Jordan back with some time. Goes to his tailback, Aubrey Shaw. Shaw picks up the loss and is back to the original line of scrimmage, which is the 25. You get the 3rd and 10. Boy, the defenses have started to take a stranglehold on this game.
You get the feeling now that it's going to be a big turnover or a situation where one of these kickers is going to have a chance to win the game. And, of course, Gardocki with the great leg, and Damon Hartman kicked a 56-yarder as time expired when State beat North Carolina earlier this year.
3rd and 10. Jordan. Davenport makes the catch at the 40-yard line. Somehow wrapped up with Arlington Nunn. Davenport picks up 15.
I don't know who the better play is here, by Terry Jordan or Charles Davenport. Davenport running the dig route. He has to find a space. You just keep working yourself across the line. Did a good job of using his body to shield the ball away from Arlington Nunn, and Terry Jordan, with a lot of patience, finally delivered it to his target.
Maynard, the fullback, and the tailback. Shaw shifts into the slot on the right side, and a timeout will be taken by NC State.
They were down to 2 seconds on the huddle clock. He had to make the call there.
They have 1 timeout remaining, 11:35 to play. A tie ball game. It's 17-all. We'll be back. A pass to Turner has moved the ball to the 50-yard line. It is another first down for NC State. We have 11:26 remaining in the game.
Terry Jordan, who has had a remarkable football game, certainly his best in a Clemson uniform, or in a NC State uniform against Clemson here, finds Ricky Turner, the redshirt sophomore.
20 for 24 is Jordan, 214 yards. He's got the ball at midfield. Play action as he rolls right, steps up, and down.
Well, he was lucky he did not lose the football as he scrambled around. Ed McDaniel, Ashley Shepard, the guys there to make the hit on Terry Jordan.
The loss goes back to the 42, so he loses 8.
They had the blitz on. You see McDaniel go by the first time. Now Shepard gets a piece of him, and McDaniel comes back to finish it off.
2nd down. 18 yards to go.
We're missing a guy. Jordan, now they're going to get a delay of game penalty.
Jordan started to use that last timeout as he came toward the bench because they had no tight end in the formation. Alex Nicholson was not on the field.
A costly breakdown there in communication from the sidelines.
So it'll move it back to the 37 and make it 2nd and 23.
Tough enough to run plays against Clemson anyway with the #2 defense in the country. Try doing it with 10 guys instead of 11. As you
right.
see Virginia now pulling away from Wake Forest, and Iowa, well, they knocked off Michigan State earlier this year, and they're giving Michigan all they could handle. Syracuse with a big win today in the Carrier Dome.
Penn State has finally taken the lead over Boston College. And the Eagles have led much of that game. Virginia Tech ahead of Temple. Screen play. George ran away from a couple tackles, but finally goes back at the 31, so he'll lose some more. Levon Kirkland finished him off, but Vance Hammond had a part in that, and so did Rob Bodine.
Well, after getting the first down at the 50, they have lost 17 yards on 2 plays and a penalty. And there aren't too many 3rd and 27 plays in your playbook.
Exactly what it is. 3rd and a ton. Jordan completes the pass to Bird. Bird gets out near the 44-yard line. Again, Kirkland made the tackle. Bird got some, but not enough. He picked up about half of it.
Well, back in the beginning of our telecast, Mike Hawkwood talked about the special teams perhaps being the difference in this ball game. We've not had any real mistakes on special teams. We had the one blocked field goal by John Johnson, but then another field goal tied the ball game. And the kickers are going to loom large in this 4th quarter.
Henderson is the lone safety, and that's not a good kick by Poe. It'll be spotted at the 36-yard line. Only a 20-yard punt by Preston Poe. Jack, you had mentioned early on there were some questions as to whether Preston would even play because of an ankle injury.
Very obviously, he has not hit the ball well in his punting opportunities this afternoon. Maybe once or twice he has gotten off a kick that you would normally expected to see from Poe. As you mentioned, John, he came in averaging over 42 yards a kick.
17-17 in the Clemson corner of Carter Finley. Set for this drive, which begins at the 36-yard line. Williams gets some room outside. 50. Down he goes in NC State territory near the 47-yard line.
Joe Johnson with a good open field tackle to deny Williams the sidelines, who a couple of times has threatened to break one for the distance. That great lateral ability of Williams to cut across the field while still gaining ground. And you can see the one-arm tackle in the open field by Joe Johnson as he fought off the blocker.
The gain is 16. Williams now at 42 yards for the game. Here's Williams again, 45. Hit hard as he reaches the 43-yard line by David Merritt.
It's almost like they said, well, we'll rest Ronald until the 4th quarter and then make him the horse that we're going to ride. And on the first 2 carries, he picks up 21 yards. Keep in mind that Clemson had only 63 yards on the ground coming into the 4th quarter.
Still two tight ends. That's Robbie Spector in motion. Here comes Williams again. High stepping inside the 40, close to a first down. Elijah Austin made the tackle.
Oh, the catchword in football now, when you line it up and just get after it, is called smash mouth football. That's what the Clemson Tigers are playing right now. You take that chin strap and you buckle it just a little bit tighter, make sure that mouthpiece is firmly in place, and go ahead. That little piece there at the bottom of the number of Ronald Williams is the end of his shoulder pads. It's a new look that they have used for running backs and other players. They're just shy of the first down. It protects the kidney area from a helmet blow. Lightweight, but you know, that high intensity, virtually indestructible plastic, if you will, with the padding there, offers just that much more protection for a running back. It's a nice new development in football equipment. They keep doing new things all the time, making it lighter but stronger.
Unfortunately, they haven't made the jerseys large enough to fit.
The players don't want those jerseys down there.
Oh, okay, I got it. 7:37 to go in the game. The ball is at the 38. It's 3rd and about a half a yard. Les Hall lines up now as an extra blocker. A 3rd tight end, and diving for the first down is Williams. He's got it at the 35-yard line. You're right. An interesting observation, Jack. They kind of saved him, preserved him. Remember last week they didn't have him in the 4th quarter because he got beat up during the course of the game.
Well, when you've got an Outland Trophy candidate, number 67, Stacy Long, that's right where they go with the lead blocker, Tony Kennedy as well. Good push off the line of scrimmage by the All-American. Stacy Long, 6'2", 275-pound redshirt senior out of Griffin, Georgia, was an All-American last year, according to Sporting News. And now we have got a timeout called by Clemson.
Clemson takes a timeout with 7:04 to play in the game. It's a critical point in the ball game with a 17-17 tie. A word from your local station. ACC football is brought to you in part by Sovereign Bank. Ask about a Sovereign Select account. The skies are clear, but the game is very cloudy with 7:04 to play. It's 17-17. We're in the fourth quarter. There you see the timeout situation. Clemson 2, NC State 1. What a great fourth quarter for Williams. Half of his rushing total in the game has come here in the fourth. Not this time. That's Mike Jones. He has been the answer defensively many times this afternoon for the Wolfpack.
Well, you mentioned earlier, John, he did not play as much last year because of Ray Agnew, who was a first-round draft choice for NC State. See the running numbers, 93 yards on the game for Clemson, as the NC State defense has done a wonderful job in shutting down the running game. Williams with 53 yards rushing. He came in averaging well over 100 a game.
Terry Smith in motion. Williams falls forward to near the 32. We go back down to the sidelines where we find Mike Hogwood.
Well, guys, the State defense is having to work now without one of its inside linebackers, Clayton Henry, the junior from Greensboro. He's got a pinched nerve in his shoulder. It's doubtful that he'll be back for the rest of this game.
Thank you, Mike. It'll be third down and about 7.
Well, here's an interesting play call. Will Kenny Hatfield here figure that with Gardocki, he is in range to kick a field goal? Will he play it safe and just run the ball again, or will he try and throw for the first down?
Cameron is 14 of 26. Williams, 25. 20-yard line. He's wrestled out of bounds near the 17 by Fernandez Vincent. Boy, the quickness of this young man. Once he gets a little break up the middle, he turns it outside and he picks up big yardage.
He's a high school All-American from 96, South Carolina. Where is 96, South Carolina? Well, legend has it that it's 96 miles from Clemson, South Carolina. And way back in the Indian Wars, there was an Indian squaw who had a lover in the colonial cavalry, if you will, and she ran 96 miles from her Indian village to Clemson to warn her lover of an impending attack, hence the name 96 South Carolina.
Well, Williams has a tendency, the potential to run at about 96 miles. He moves it inside the 15-yard line, and let's face it, much of this fourth quarter, and certainly, Jack, much of this drive, which potentially could be a game winner for Clemson, has been on his back.
Well, virtually all of the drive has been on his back. NC State trying to counter now with some of the big boys again on the line of scrimmage. Leonard Bartlett comes out, and big Ricky Logo comes back in. This is a clock grinder as well, John.
2nd and 6. Williams loses the football. It looks like NC State has come up with it. There is Billy Ray Haynes at the bottom of that pile, and a big turnover for the Wolfpack. Ouch.
Well, it has been an afternoon of penalties and turnovers for the Clemson Tigers. That is their third fumble of the afternoon. And now NC State stops one threat. As you see, Williams on the delay just had the ball squirt right through his hands, and Billy Ray Haynes fell on it for the Wolfpack.
A break for NC State. For a yard, maybe 2. Rob Bodine made the tackle.
Less than 5 minutes to play in this one. NC State 17, Clemson 17. Dick Sheridan wants to get the win, but he doesn't want to throw himself into a loss. But the fans weren't happy with the first down running call.
2nd down and 8. Again, it's play action fake this time. From behind, the ball is hit and knocked away. A flag goes down. That might be holding along the line of scrimmage. The ball was, the passer was was hit by Hammond just as he tried to release the ball. Jordan took a lick.
Scott Woods trying to block Vance Hammond was called for the holding penalty. I'm not sure what Clemson will do. Will they back the Wolfpack up and give them an extra down, or say make it 3rd and long, and Jerome Henderson taking a look to the sidelines to decide. I see Kenny Hatfield shaking his head like they don't want to take the penalty. They want the football back. I would think you'll decline it and take your chances on 3rd and long. It would be 3rd and 8 or 2nd and 18. But Clemson has only 2 timeouts left, and the clock starts to become a factor. It's a tough call here.
I think they're going to take it.
Holding. Offense, 2nd down.
They decide they want the distance.
But that only moves it back to the 9.
Because of the half the distance. They have to get out just beyond the 25. So it'll be 2nd down, and
keep in mind that Preston Pogue has not been booming the football as a punter so far this afternoon. It'll be 2nd down at about 17, and now let's make sure we have everything spotted in the right location.
Well, the problem where they threw the flag, the initial line of scrimmage was about the, and now they're moving it back to exactly the 9-yard line. Makes it 2nd and 17.
Jordan brings his team up. The backs are split. Feiner across the 10 to the 11-yard line. Not much there as Chuck O'Brien, another backup linebacker, came up to make the tackle.
Well, it's a tough situation for Dick Sheridan, because you're trying, I mean, they don't want the tie, but with the distance capability of Gardocki, you know, you hate to jackpot your defense.
3rd and long, less than 4 to play. Jordan steps up, hit from behind, the ball is there, up for grabs, scramble near the 5-yard line. Clemson says they have it. They'll unstack. They do. The Tigers get it back. 6 turnover of the game. They've all been fumbles, and 3 by each team. Doug Brewster on top of this one.
Terry Jordan trying to make something happen, scrambling around. He gets caught with the ball out away from his body. He steps up inside of Simmons, but then Vance Hammond strips him loose of the football. And was it Wayne Simmons who came on the ball? It was hard to tell out of that pile. 1st and goal for Clemson. Doug Brewster, they say, recovered the fumble.
1st and goal from the 6-yard line. Williams not quite in. He skidded into the end zone, but they're going to put him down at the 1. Elijah Austin made the tackle.
They will now try and use as much time as possible, the Clemson Tigers.
The clock is running at 3:15.
A little bit of trouble hanging on to that ball as he moved forward, John. Under 10 seconds on the huddle clock.
Hall, the fullback, second surgeon in. Howard Hall, who's had his injury problems, pushes it into the end zone.
For 2 a couple of times earlier today, but I think they'll go for the kick conversion this time. The second effort of Howard Hall as he squirmed his way in past Tyler Lawrence and into the end zone.
The touchdown comes with 3 minutes and 2 seconds remaining. It was set up by the turnover.
Jeff Flesh needing some assistance. Redshirt junior left guard for the Tigers.
attempt the extra point is Kristen Kardaki. He has not missed this year. Keep in mind the touchdowns here, they've gone for 2. Wound up 1 successful, 1 not in the 17-17 ball game. A little problem with the snap, but Jimmy McLee's got it on the ground, and the extra point is good. 3:02 remaining in this one. Clemson has taken a 7-point lead at 27-14, or 24-17. We'll be back. 24-17. Clemson has a 1-touchdown lead with just over 3 minutes to play in the game. Kardaki kicking deep. George at the goal line to the 20. Tries to get outside, loses the football, and heads toward the sideline. Does Clemson get on it in bounds? Yes.
Coming away with the football for the Tigers was a young man that we don't have a number. Adell George trying to make something happen. The ball pops loose. Does he get to it before it gets out of bounds? Oh boy, that's a tough call. They say he was in bounds.
David Joy on the ball, possibly number 43.
That's who is running after it. David Joy right there. And apparently he was in bounds long enough to probably seal the Clemson victory. I'm sure that will be a play that Dick Sheridan and his coaching staff will run again and again tomorrow as they look at the game films. The question is, did he have possession before he went out of bounds? And the official who was there felt he did. And that's the only person that counts.
A 3-yard pickup on first down. Clock shows 2:22 to go.
State has only 1 timeout left to stop the clock.
7 turnovers in the game, 4 by State, 3 by Clemson, and Williams is wrapped up. Leonard Bartlett is all over him.
And they're going to call it on Leonard Bartlett. See, that's a dumb play on the part of Leonard Bartlett. Because you want to...
We have first a dead ball personal foul here. Then we have an unsportsmanlike here.
Where that was a mistake is that you're trying to get the ball back. The play is already over. You want to release that ball carrier, get them to restart the huddle clock, and conserve time. But you can understand the frustrations of a football game in which you have been ahead or close throughout the game, and it has been a tough 4th quarter for North Carolina State.
The dead ball personal and the dead ball unsportsmanlike are both enforced. The yardage canceled.
Okay, our MVPs for the game this afternoon. Vance Hammond, outstanding for Clemson. Charles Davenport in his first start at wide receiver for NC State. As part of the Schick Most Valuable Player Award Scholarship Program, Schick will donate $1,000 to the Atlantic Coast Conference to be distributed among the member institutions under a conference-approved plan, the Schick Slim Twin disposable razor. It reaches every face, every place on every face. Ball at the 30. 3rd and 13. Williams trying to get outside at the 30. 25-20. Ridden down at the 8-yard line is Williams, and the speed of that freshman Fernandez Vincent finally caught up with him, but he picked up 23 yards.
As we said, it seemed like they waited for the end of the ball game to release Ronald Williams. A big first down and another big win for the #1 team in the country. Georgia Tech having trouble against an improving North Carolina team, and Duke coming back against Maryland. We'll see Duke next week as they travel down to Atlanta to take on Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech #11 coming into action this week.
First and goal, the ball is inside the 9, and Williams just needs a yard more to get another 100-yard gain. Powering his way inside the 5 is fullback Tony Kennedy. Jesse Campbell helps to ride him down to the ground inside the 5. Our executive producer is Jimmy Rayburn. Today's game produced by Steve Craddock and directed by Dave Burchett. You see some more of the outstanding crew that we've had working with us here. Our thanks upstairs to Roger Knight and John Madry for helping us. with our stage manager, Kathy Campbell. It has been a struggle. 24-17 Clemson. Less than a minute to play in the game. Down to the 2.
And Hatfield thought the first 5 minutes of the second half was going to be crucial in this football game. In that first 5 minutes, the Tigers scored a touchdown to take a lead. NC State came back to tie the game, but the fumble late in the ball game, setting up the go-ahead score, as NC State now less than a half a minute away from win number 6 and another tough loss in a frustrating year for Dick Sheridan.
Got into the end zone, but the officials indicate that he was down prior to that. That's the game clock. Time remaining 10 seconds. Not anything that the coach can do about it. Now he's going to take the last time out if he can get it. Let's wait just one moment. That is the end of the ball game. 24-17. Clemson, a struggle, but they win it by a touchdown. We'll be back to Raleigh in a minute.
ACC football has been brought to you by Coors Light, the one that won't slow you down. The Silver Bullet is the right beer now. By the airline of ACC country, Delta. We love to fly, and it shows. By the Jefferson Pilot Life Insurance Company. For insurance and financial services, better call JP. By MCI's Prime Time Plan. Real savings 24 hours a day. And by Buick, the new symbol for quality in America.
NC State made it a battle, but Clemson prevails here in Raleigh, 24-17 this afternoon. It's time for our option play of the game, brought to you by Option. Great coverage for men, the advanced way to get rid of the gray. It was a football game with lots of emotional swings. Clemson, coming out of the locker room, drove down the field on its first possession of the second half. The touchdown pass to Terry Smith put Clemson ahead. They eventually prevailed 24-17 for their 6th win of this 1990 season. We'll be back with a final word after this word from your local ACC station.
It was a dizzying finish, but Clemson has won number 6. 24-17 is the final this afternoon in Raleigh. Next week, be with us. We'll be in Atlanta as Georgia Tech hosts Duke right here on JP Sports. JP Sports personnel outfitted by Champion Products. Contribute to your favorite ACC school by renting from Budget, the official car and truck rental company of the ACC. Call Budget for details. You've been watching JP Sports exclusive coverage of Atlantic Coast Conference football.